Hello, stream. Welcome to the show. We're doing another STiKS 1v1. I have a very special guest today, someone that better not be a stranger to any of you. Otherwise, you are the number one detriment, and you should take a break, go to Codpedia, and read up on Joey D, also known as Merk. Merk, you want to say hello?
Hello, stream. How's it going, guys? Hope you're all having a great day. I'm ready to kick this off. I've been trying to get on the STiKS, for a long time now, so yeah, I'm excited to be here.
All right. Well, what we do for the 1v1s, you guys know, is this is our third one in the last 3 weeks, and I'm gonna rattle off some questions for Merk from Twitter, and then I have the 1v1 question at the end. If you guys want to suggest the 1v1, you can in the chat. I'll make sure to give a glance at it. Let us know as well if you're having any issues with the stream, but if you refresh, it should be fine. So Merk, I promised myself I was not going to do any kind of fanboying or anything like that. As much as people call me an OpTic fanboy, I became a fan of OpTic before I started being an analyst when you were on the team. I started watching competitive Call of Duty and Black Ops 1. Modern Warfare 3 was really where I kind of I just glued myself to the screen whenever they showed something, and I started as a player to become interested more to try to be a competitive player with my with a guy that I used to play with back in the day. So I promise that I'll try to keep my fanboying to a minimum.
MW3 days.
Yeah. Well, you're one of the most respected players in the game. I've said in the past, I think you're one of the best captains in the game. You've been on basically only 2 teams throughout your history. How have you personally avoided all these roster manias when they happen? Like, what is it that? Because I know there's not teams that are just like, oh, we're not going to pick up Merk, we don't want him. But how have you avoided all the team switches?
In all honesty, for a long time, it was just we were really happy with our results. I mean, when you're at the top of the food chain, you don't have to change, right? That was sort of the OpTic days.
Yeah.
Even through all of Black Ops 1, even though we only had 2 championships, we were still considered the whole year the best alongside Leverage.
Yeah.
And then after that, you go through MW3 and it was just, we conquered it. We destroyed everyone. We went to Europe. We destroyed over there. And then even in Black Ops 2, even though we did have the roster change, throughout the year with probably minimal practice out of the top 8 teams, we placed top 3, top 4 the whole year. Third at champs, first at the first event, and we didn't play that much Call of Duty as a team. But and then Envy sort of happened, and on Envy, I sort of took a step back, especially when I first joined. I sort of let things happen. It was Rambo, it was Damon. They sort of hit heads. They didn't get along that well. And that's when everything sort of blew up. And I honestly didn't know what to do because I didn't have that much experience with these new players, right? Like when after Philly, we picked up Yunjar, we went to Philly and we didn't do well. And that's sort of when the chaos started, right? We picked up Scump. It was me, Gunjar, Proof, Scump. And then that happened. And I was basically left alone, I was left at Rambo, and neither of us really knew what to do.
Yeah.
So we just picked up 2 young guns, and it's been like that ever since. I've just given people chances that, they've come to me, they're like, I think I can do this, blah, 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 and we've just worked that way.
Yeah, it was obvious that Damon and Ray were kind of like, they just have a unique play style, and I think Damon is used to being able to be vocal however and whenever he wants and do what he wants because of how good he is.
Well, especially Black Ops 2 when he was considered the best, right? And then he has his championships, and then he joined Envy and they struggled. Rambo, he's in the chat. Hey, Ray. He has his way to play, usually the most methodical way, and Damon's like, dude, no, like this is the way to play, and they just got on each other's nerves. And I think the team house was a part of that, but it worked out well for everyone.
Yeah, this is very mean of Rambo to come into the chat. Like, of the 2 people that I be a fan of if I actually met you in real life. It's like you and Rambo. Um, so well, let me go here first. So you're still in school.
Right.
Thank you, Landon, Air Flying 2 Caps, for subbing to the channel, by the way. So
What's up, hype?
you're in school, and we were talking about it before, but there's a lot of players that are even not at your level of social media, and your level of just being a veteran, being around for a long time, but they are dropping out of school. And not just to do gaming, but to be in the gaming world, to do YouTube, to do streaming. People are dropping out of school. What made your decision to stay in school? Because I'm sure that the grind is difficult for you. But what it made you decide that?
I, you know, I got into I joined school 2011. I got into school and I had a Tuesday Thursday like schedule, right? It was like, and it was hectic, but I was able to travel Monday through Friday, right? I didn't have classes, but then Tuesday Thursday came and I went from school from something crazy like 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah,
Obviously, it wasn't the whole time. It was like 5 different classes, which I think was 15 hours. So each day was 7.5 hours, but I was just able to do it. And then it just consistently kept happening. I found online classes, which made it simpler. And then I took a semester off. It was a semester of Champs 2014 when I joined Envy and we picked up studying an Ant. And I didn't enjoy it.
mm,
There's something about just not being in school. Like I just didn't feel like I was doing the right thing. I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe it's something that like just growing up that my parents taught me, like school comes first. I don't know what it was, but I've always had a good balance with things. Like right now, I go to school Monday through Friday, but I wake up at 7, 8 a.m. I go to school at 10, 11, and
mm.
then between those times where we play, because these people say that you have to play 12 hours a day. You don't. I don't believe you do. When you play with your team is the most valuable time.
Yeah.
And when do you play with your team? It's usually 5, 6 o'clock
Yep.
to 11, maybe midnight,
Yeah.
nothing more. That's 5 hours a day.
Hmm.
So, when I get home from class, there's that 5 to 6 hour period a day, which is usually like noon to 5, and that's when I just get work done. I mean, I think that's a big thing is people just don't know how to
Manage their time.
put things aside and do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, well, I'm sure the prioritizing is going to pay off for you in the end.
Yeah,
A
that's
lot of
the
people are
plan.
going to look back and say, "Well, I thought I was going to be the next Scump or Nade. Now I got to go
Right.
back to school, and I stayed out for 2 years." And so
Mhm.
I think you're making the right decision and setting a good example for the people in the chat and people on YouTube that are going to watch this later, and the community in general. So thank you for doing that. So before I get to questions for Twitter, we're going to run a commercial break after this next question. I'm going to ask it, and this is a 1v1, so you don't have to answer it. But I did a top 4 roster changes on my channel, and yours was number 1, your roster change from OpTic. I actually asked Hector about it when he was on the STiKS, and he does say he regretted the way it was done.
Right.
He's not going to say I regret the change, but
Mhm.
he regrets the way it was done with the 4 videos all uploading at the same time, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure you have vivid memories of that day.
Yeah.
My question for you is like, does it still sting? Like, is there still some bitterness there, or have you kind of like just kind of moved past it?
Um, I'm pretty much moved past it at this point. Um, when you think about it, the way it happened, what was going on within the team at the time. Like I said, we just weren't playing Call of Duty. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
and then, I mean, even like Seth and Matt, their relationship wasn't good. That's why Seth's home now. Like Seth didn't like
yeah,
living there. When he joined Envy, he had that huge outburst, and people were like, "Oh, what is this? Like what is going on?" And
yeah,
it was just different. Obviously, 28-minute videos didn't help, the sting.
yeah,
Um, and then one thing I look back on, which kind of sucks, was maybe if I took my time and talked with them, maybe I would have gotten the OpTic Nation team or something of that
yeah,
nature,
yeah.
similar to Bose, and I could have done something that way. But I moved on to Envy. I've been happy ever since. They were sort of the brother teams. You know,
Yeah,
I'm pretty much moved past it. We're all
yeah.
pretty. I wouldn't say we're great friends, but we're friends. I mean, we'll at events, we'll have drinks, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think we've all grown from it.
Well, and I think, moving from Hex to Hastro is not a bad transition. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you're really looking at the two, not just best managers in far of taking care of their players, but
Mhm.
as far as their vision for their teams and how hard those guys work. I think everybody that is coming up in the scene, whether it's Robbie who owns 4 or 5 teams, or the guys like Jay over at SB, like Big Snacks, like these guys that are coming up that are almost, I don't want, they're not amateur owners, I can't call them that, but they're
Right.
on a smaller scale with smaller teams. Like they're looking at Hastro and Hex and saying, what fueled their success? Well, it was hard work, so let's just work hard. And so I think they set a good example, and I think you landed in a good place. I mean,
Yeah. I
you guys
mean,
have
both
had
of them
your,
just take really good care of their players. They put their players before themselves. If there's an issue, even if there's troubles within the teams,
yeah,
both of them will be the one to put everybody into a call and be like, all right, let's listen, let's get this done. Let's
yeah,
figure out what problems are,
yeah.
and we'll move by them. And they both do a really good job at that.
Yeah, and you've won championships on both teams, so that's not a bad thing either.
Yeah, yeah. Finally for Mr. Astro, I got him too. So
Yeah, you got.
hopefully more this year.
I was gonna say, yeah. Hopefully, it's not over. All right, so we and hopefully you land that top three. You get you
Yeah,
keep that streak alive for COD champs.
got the
Uh,
roster to do it. So
so we're gonna take a quick commercial break, guys. 30 seconds, and we'll be right back. And I'm gonna jump right to your questions from Twitter for the last 15 minutes of the show. We'll see you guys in a minute. All right, we are back, guys. We're going to jump right into questions from Twitter. This is the STiKS 1v1 with Merk. And the first question is going to come from, don't tell me his name is McChicken.
does he cost $1?
McChicken Zing. This is Corey at McChicken Zing. And the question is, was it hard dropping JCap because you two were such good friends?
I mean, obviously, it's always hard making a team decision. But it was needed. Listen, I don't placing. If you watch the team throughout the past, what was it, 2-3 months?
Mm-hmm.
You've heard frustrations, you've heard struggles. Like every day we woke up and we were motivated to become the best. Like these are 4 guys who are champions, and we were very motivated. And even after we scrimmed, late nights, we did 2-3 hours of private matches, talking about strategies, watching VODs. But it's just like things just didn't work. We played close with almost every team, but we didn't clutch up in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, is it hard? Yes. I'm great friends with Cap. I think he's a great friend, but it was something that was obviously needed. I mean, all the other 3 guys can tell you so. And I mean, it's just the way the roster change worked out. Like believe me, there was like 10 different NV rosters before this one. Some of them included me. Some of them didn't include me. Some of them included JCap. Some of them didn't include JCap.
Yeah.
It's just the way it worked out. We saw an opportunity finally, and we took it. So that's just what it was.
All right. So how long ago did you guys know something needed to change?
After Orlando, we had a call with one another, and it was just like, listen, like we were willing to work for champs and for season 1,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, at that point, we didn't even know if we were going to be top 8 in the season. The way things were going, I mean, luckily enough, teams were doing worse than us. I mean, honestly, we weren't playing that well.
Yeah.
I think in the season we're something like 8-0, game 5s. Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of 1-1 days. We just barely clipped on, hanging on. So, but yeah, about 2 days after Orlando, we're like, listen, whether it's 1 player, whether it's 3 players gone, NV is going to be something different. We all knew it. We all agreed. But the biggest thing is we wanted everyone to be comfortable with the decision.
Yeah.
We wanted everybody to go to a team that they wanted to go to if there was going to be a trade, or, be with, people they considered friends, so they were in a comfortable position. Like, I'm not going to send Clayster to Elevate. I'm not going to send, JCap to a place where he didn't want to go.
What I said on the STiKS, we were talking about roster changes before Orlando, and we said I think I said if Envy doesn't place top five, they'll probably make a roster change. Do you guys actually think in that manner, like placement, like in advance of an event when you know there's problems? Like if we don't place here, we're gonna talk about changing.
Yeah, I mean, even top five. I mean, that's like, I mean, yes, that's good, but it really depends what sort of fifth place that is. Like, if you look at our fifth
Yeah.
at Columbus, like, yeah, like again, we pulled out a game five versus Denial,
Yeah.
went to losers, then we got 3-0'd, went to loser bracket, got 3-0'd, and it's just like, what the heck is going on? And then you look at our pool play at Columbus, and it was even crazier. It was a
Yeah.
bunch of fives. We luckily just got out, got second place in the pool. And then Orlando happened, and yeah. I mean, it just
Yeah.
depends. If we got like a fifth place at Orlando, losing 3-2 to like OpTic at, in the losers bracket.
Yeah.
Back at it, okay. But it just depends, and it just wasn't a good two events.
Okay. All right. Next question comes from X Aptitude at X Aptitude on Twitter, and he asked, "Who is the best player you've ever teamed with skill wise?" I know.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, I've teamed with like the legends, all of them. Most of them for the most part. Skill wise, it would probably come down to Scump and Formal. Obviously, those two are consistently considered the best in the games they play in. So I'm not going to pick one, but I'll go with those two.
Ah,
I'm not going to pick one because
right.
I'm just going to get like tweets and whatnot. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's the position. I think I don't remember when we asked Imbos. He was trying to decide between Scump and Karma. I think.
Yeah.
And that
Well, that's another one. Damon, I didn't even think of that. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Even if you look at like Black Ops 1 JCap,
Yeah.
Yeah. Proofy when he was in his like prime.
Yeah.
I've teamed with all those guys when they were definitely considered the best. So it's hard to consider.
Well, yeah, you were on Karma's team when he got his like 26 kill streak or whatever it was.
Yeah. I remember playing that game and he looked at us. He was like, "I think I went on like a 28 kill streak." And then we went and like, yeah, I don't remember dying. I was like, I didn't believe him. Like nobody did. So we were just like, all right. And then we went back and watched the highlights. We're like, wow, you definitely did go on a 20. I just remember the score be like 50 to like 40. All right.
That was like child's play.
Yeah.
All right, next question comes from Eddie at iplasma_EA on Twitter, and he asks, "Would you ever join OpTic again?"
I mean, yeah, obviously, who wouldn't? It's if you join OpTic, you're basically handed a career for that time.
Yeah.
You can if you use it the correct way, right? You use your YouTube, you use your stream, and you positively affect the community. You're gonna get a lot from it.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to win, so if the team that offered me a spot is a winning team, and I think that, then yeah, I would definitely do it.
Yeah, and I think like to get something straight, like the owners kind of accept that, right, as a fact of this game.
Yeah, definitely. About OpTic, you mean?
Yeah, if OpTic offers their player an opportunity, they're not expecting like I'm going to be loyal to SB. Like I mean,
it's like, I mean, I don't know, like professional sports, but you see like these guys get the top contract from the Yankees, and those people go. I mean, I'm sure it's just between the owners, it's just an understanding where like you want. If I'm like an owner of, SB and like Dito gets offered a spot and I'm Jay, I'm like, I know you want to be successful. I know this is going to help you excel your career, so go for it. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah. All right. Next question is from Dr. Dr. Benji FM, also known as Ben, at Dr. Benji. And he asked, would you rather see 4 $250K seasonal tournaments or one $1 million tournament?
400%. This is so, there's not one big tournament everybody prepares for, everybody goes hard for. One time, the hot team wins it. I mean, if you look at the past two winners for the World Championships, it was, Impact. They went on a 3 tournament or 4 tournament,
win streak.
win streak in
Mhm.
6 weeks. I mean, like, you have that much momentum.
Yeah.
You're not going to stop. Same thing with complexity. Obviously, after Anaheim in 2013, and they just
They
went
won
and won
everything. Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So, and the base thing is it gives people something to play for the whole entire year. And we've had talks with Adam and MLG, and hopefully, I'm pretty sure Adam has something up his sleeve for the end of the year, a nationals of some sort, a
Ooh,
big tournament.
that would be dope.
But after champs, I mean, just look at Aches after last year. What
It was,
happened with
yeah.
that G team? It was, yeah, we don't care. We won the $100,000, and that was it. So I think it would be interesting. Teams would be made. Team changes would obviously be crazy. Owners probably wouldn't like that. I think the 4 seasons would have to
Coincide.
incorporate. Yes,
Yeah.
it would be season 1, 250,000. Season 2, 250,000. So there's no team changes.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then we have to play all year for that sort of money, which
Well,
is a great time.
and the big thing for them to think about is content wise for them
Oh, absolutely.
building up to 4 250K tournaments, and Activision makes money off of it as well. Like the building up to that is not just roster changes like crazy, like you said, but it lets the league be important because the league kind of determines the chemistry and what teams are going to stay together. And like right now, it's a mess. I mean, I'll just admit it. It is. I can't tell what is going on. Teams are building league teams and COD champs teams.
Right.
It's just really, really hard to follow as a viewer. I'll just, I'll put that out there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, even playing in these 2Ks and 5Ks, I'm like, who are we playing? Who's on this team?
Yeah.
I mean, luckily enough, we were able to. That was a huge thing in our roster decision. We wanted a season 1 team. We think, these extra 16 games that we have with all these different game types.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go to an extra LAN with our real team.
Yep.
And I think that's going to excel us to.
That LAN is huge. Yeah.
Right. It's going to help us a lot. And these teams are going to fall behind. It's just the truth.
Yeah. And you'll get into the next season, which is important. As long as you're not noble, and then you all get dropped. All right, 2 more questions. This one comes from Jack at. I'm not even gonna say his at. It's on the screen. How has the competitive scene changed since Black Ops 2 and when you first started? Did you see this as a career?
Not really. No. I mean, nobody does. It was a hobby to all of us. I mean, this started in Call of Duty 4, we were just playing online tournaments, and then MW2 happened. We got they had their nationals events in COD 4. MW2 happened. That was my first LAN event. I was like, hey, Mom, going to Dallas. She's like, what? Like, what do you mean? And then it got picked up in Black Ops 1. And I guess Black Ops 1, we were kind of like, yeah, this could happen. Like, this is a good thing. Like, I think the thing that solidifies it as a career is COD Champs, but that's still a huge gamble that, like I said, I took a semester off last Champs. Luckily, it paid off, I mean, if you look at last Champs, we probably shouldn't have even made top 32, top 16 with how crazy our run was.
You guys played great, though.
Yeah, but nobody knew, everything was stacked against us. If I didn't, if we make no money from COD Champs, that is a 4 or 5 months that I just see as a complete waste. Luckily, we got second place, $50,000 each. Great year for me, but it's right now. It's still a huge gamble for a career. I don't think even in the league. I mean, yeah, it's $2,000. You get to play. You have $50 a match, which is nice, but that's over 3-4 months. You're guaranteed money, and then if you get top 8, if you win, you get 7,500. But still, that's 10 grand in 4 months.
Yeah.
That's not living money. So, I mean, it's still a gamble for a lot of people. Luckily enough, I have the fan base and everything to make it a career, and I've had the placings to make it a career. But some of these young guns are going to have this decision of school, gaming. I have this theory that next year Vandahar is going to pull out something big. I think next year is when we get that sort of micro transaction.
DLC,
yeah, you get that $7 million tournament next year. That's what I think.
Gosh.
Right, but right now it's still a huge gamble.
Well, I guess I should stay around then.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I'll be at that LAN. Hit me up, Puckett. No, Parasite was saying something similar. He said people call this a profession. He said, but it's hard to call it a profession when the people that actually make money from Call of Duty. It's not necessarily because they're the most skilled players. It's because they're the most entertaining.
Entertaining, right?
Yeah.
I mean, streaming as a whole is a gamble, right? Like all of Call of Duty is an MLG, and it's sort of becoming oversaturated in itself. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of pro players are thinking about going back to Twitch. You look at the Twitch interaction, the donations, the subscribers. Obviously, that is a gamble in itself as well. You don't know if you're going to get that interaction with your viewers, but some people are going to take a month or two break from their MLG partnership and test out Twitch and see where that goes, because everybody knows as soon as OpTic gets on, that's where
Yeah.
most of the viewers goes.
Yeah.
Maybe someone goes to Twitch and 1 out of those 10 viewers is like, I just like Twitch better. That's just what I like. And they're going to stream during the day and in the afternoon, because obviously league matches they won't be able to stream.
Yeah.
If it works out for them, those 3 hours won't matter. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, even if you look at the end of Ghosts with Complexity or Evil Geniuses and their Twitch partnership, when they did stream, like Crim and TP, they had 1,000 to 3,000 viewers, and I think if they had the interaction they probably do have now,
yeah, oh yeah, Crim would be
right. Yeah. He could be getting thousands upon thousands of subscribers. So,
yeah,
I mean, he's probably getting it now because OpTic and everything, but I think they could have used that Twitch MLG separation as a huge opportunity to blow out themselves.
Well, and I mean, there's a reason we're still on Twitch. We're still playing. We're playing that gamble that you just talked about. We know that Call of Duty is not on Twitch anymore, but we're pulling, 1,500. I think there's like 700 people watching now. We're able to get over 1,000 viewers. We've even peaked at a little over 2,000, and so for us, it's not a problem because most pro players would love to have 700 viewers every time they stream. So we're not complaining. And we appreciate the interactivity with the chat, the sub emotes, and just everything that you can do. And I know MLG's trying to go that direction, but like you said, it's so oversaturated. You turn the channel on and you see these 4 green boxes. You don't even look below those. You just click on one of the green boxes that happens to be streaming.
Right.
And so it's an interesting grind. I'm interested in seeing how these pro players do when they experiment with that. So last question is from ISV, Swedish Virus.
Hey, my boy.
And he says, how did you come up with the name Merk?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Call of Duty 4 days when I was an SNDGB star, we just wanted a cool name with O's and X's. And one of my buddies was like, dude, Merk X. And I was like, yeah, I want that one. So that's what I did. I went from like Bazooka Joe, which was like my game at LG's name for a long time, to like Hypnotic X. And I was like, dude, I don't like this one. But he's like, you got to go with Merk X. I was like, I like that one. I like that one. So I know some people have these deep stories behind their name, and I'm just like,
gosh.
I was just a Game Battles S&D star wanting my name to look cool.
Merk X.
So that's what I did.
All right.
That was the foundation.
Thank you, Merk, for coming on. It's been a pleasure, man. Hopefully one of these times we'll get you on the Monday show that we have when we're actually talking about Call of Duty in the league and stuff. Good luck.
Do the next one.
All right. Hey, why not?
If we don't have matches, let's check right now.
You guys play every Tuesday and Thursday for some reason.
Every Tuesday, Thursday?
So you probably have Monday off.
Hopefully. All right. Watch. Season 1 schedule. All right. Next Monday. I did not have my matches next Monday, so I am down.
All right, you heard it here first. Merk is coming on the STiKS next week. Appreciate it. Good luck to you guys in your matches tonight. And the 1v1 question.
All right.
You versus Rambo Ray.
Me versus Rambo Ray. Oh, no.
Black Ops 2 S&D on Raid. Who wins?
On Raid? I think I win. I think Ray's going to run an overkill sniper and going to miss a lot. and I'm just gonna run at him with like a B23R and kill him. I win like probably like 6-4. I'll take it.
All right, Rambo, you heard it here first. All right, stream. Make sure you guys. Thank you guys for. We sold. We were trying to sell 10 shirts, STiKS shirts, and hoodies. In 2 weeks, we sold 33. We got sponsored by Scuff in the same window. You guys keep supporting us. We appreciate it. Shout out to our sponsor G Fuel as well. Shout out to Goalie, the best producer, including MLG, the best producer in this community right now. What Goalie said something. Goalie doesn't agree but MLG has a team. You're one man.
That's true.
You're
That's true.
Man. They have a team and salaries. You're one.
That is true as well.
All right. Yeah, your salary is like peanuts. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week on the STiKS. Peace out.
Later, guys.